What contributes to your economic revival? What contributes to that? Because if you don't understand what it is that contributes to your economic revival, then you actually don't know what it is that's contributing. Watch this, B. What are the economic parasites that is taking you away from it? B, I'm on the road. I went with apparatus, right? I went with apparatus out the gate. You feel me? I went with economic revival. Then I tripled down with parasites. Come on, man. That's the type of time we on today, right? Because what I have an idea in my mind that I don't think that we're truly grasping the concept around what we're doing. Like something in me says that we playing a game, but we ain't indoctrinated in the game, right? And there's a difference. Like you ever saw a person who had all the potential in the world to be a star, but yet they chose to be a step above mediocre, right? They chose not to put it all on the line. And I'll use this for an example, right? When we saw Charlo fight Canelo, I don't think nobody in their mind really felt like, well, let me not say that. I don't think nobody said he's gonna win the fight. But we knew he had the potential to land some blows that say, oh, you may get some respect. You may, okay, young lion. But when we saw the fight, we all left the fight disappointed. And we weren't disappointed that he lost. We were disappointed at the effort. Because there's a part of us that really felt like we understand the game. If he can land a right shot, I mean, Canelo is human, right? And I think we as a people love the idea of being hopeful. Like being hopeful is this innate thing that always brews in us, right? And so that's the thing. And I think for us, I don't think a lot of people are truly, they haven't engraved in their being that this game would change their life. They're moving with the trend that this can change their life. And it's two completely different things. You have some people like myself, like it's ingrained in me. Like it's ingrained in me that this game not only has changed my life, but it will consistently change my life. And because I understand the importance of that, no matter how many losses I take, no matter how big of a win I get, every day it's about me consistently playing the game. I am privy to the intricacies that are involved with this game. But man, I once heard a man say even a rigged game is fun to play. He said even a rigged game is fun to play. And so what I did was, I turned my free time, watch this, I turned my free time into the most learning time because I understood that ignorance is expensive. I turned my free time to learning time because the free time that converts to the learning time now pays the biggest dividends. It inquires the most dividend. It inquires the most interest. Listen, I'm not going to get into the depths of this story right here, but there's the story of the talents. This has become one of my favorite stories in the Bible when it comes to wealth. And we know he gave one person 1, he gave one person 2, and he gave one person 5. Now, I'm not going to get into that. Right? I'm not going to get into that, but I'm going to get into the one with 1 who put it in the ground. And he told him this, Master, because I know you have, in so many words, reaped what you have not sown. You have collected from what you have not gathered. And so therefore, I put the talent in the ground. Now, that ain't the part I want to talk about. I just want to give some context. The part that I truly want to talk about is when the master said to him, well, one, because you know I have reaped what I have not sown, I have gathered where I have not. Why didn't you take my money and go give it to the bankers and get interest?
What's good, trappers, man? It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Right now, I want to invite you to an amazing experience full of value. That is my community, Trappers Anonymous. It's 100% the greatest fundamental investing community on the market. Listen, your portfolio should be a masterpiece. And the only way we get you there is if we help you to learn how to invest with confidence. Now listen, I get it. Like, you don't know a lot about stocks, or maybe you've heard people say how much money they lost in stocks, but I can guarantee you, one, because they weren't in the community, and two, they lack the information. Our goal in Trappers Anonymous is to help you, really to hold your hand on the journey to becoming a confident investor, learning how to navigate through the different events that the stock market goes through to take you from panic to encouragement. There's no better time than now. This is an opportunity only for those who are willing to be on the journey. So listen, man, click the link below. Come join me in Trappers Anonymous, man. I will see you in one of our many classes, whether it's Moat Monday, whether it's the 2-hour class we do on Sunday, or whether it's just a book club. Everything is geared toward making you a better investor so you can triple your net worth and turn your last name to an asset. It's your boy, Wall Street Trapper. See you in the trap.
And so, look, I've dissected that so many times. Watch this. You only get interest from the investment that you are willing to make. And the biggest investment you can ever make is the investment in knowledge, because the ignorance becomes expensive. And I'm talking about it becomes extravagantly expensive. Because what was the next thing he said after that? Listen, not only will I take what you have and give it to someone else, but I need you to get from around here. So the ignorance costed him, in essence, everything he had. The ignorance, in essence, cost him everything he had. I remember I did the call with E.T. a couple of days ago, and he asked me to speak for his Financial Wealth Week. And it was like 2 Tuesdays ago, and that's the one I used. Right? I used that one. He said, boy, that was good, Trap. Because I also talked to them about your financial algorithm. And when we look at the stock market, when we look at our life, when we look at social media, we've already been accustomed to. We have normalized ourselves around algorithms that we didn't create. But what happens to the algorithm that we created? That financial algorithm that you created for yourself. And the only way to change that algorithm is to disrupt it. Because if not, the algorithm smothers you. The algorithm smothers you. And most people on social media, we just talked about it. We was like, damn, Trap, somebody like smothering your algorithm. I'm like, yo, we got to just disrupt it. We got to just figure out, we got to keep pushing it till we disrupt it. I want to ask you a question. What's smothering your financial algorithm right now? What's smothering it? What is your algorithm? What are the things, the habits that you do repetitiously? And then repetition becomes this, B. Repetition becomes the thing that the body does when the mind isn't even conscious of it. Ooh. Repetition becomes the thing when it starts to move, when the mind, listen, the mind don't even have association with what's going on. It now becomes an innate nature. I can tell you right now, we support a lot of people algorithm, getting on the phone for 2 hours just scrolling, 30 minutes scrolling. You get caught up in the algorithm. Why? Because every time you move your thumb, it's actually a sort of a dopamine high. And now what happens is you're scrolling endlessly on a dopamine high that never ends. You're caught up in someone else's algorithm. So how do you disrupt it? What are the things that you put in place that disrupts that algorithm? But let's take it back home. What are the things that you're now willing to put in place to disrupt the financial algorithm that you've already been accustomed to and living to, so that you can break free of that in order to build wealth? See, building wealth is a whole, like wealthy people, wealthy families, they are in a different financial algorithm. So when we see certain things and we be like, wealthy people do this, poor people do that, broke people do this, rich people, we are already associating with an algorithm, B. We are already subconsciously associating with a certain algorithm. Okay, let me make it make sense a little more. You already understand that when you're on Instagram, that's one algorithm, but when you're on TikTok, it's another algorithm, but when you go to YouTube, it's another algorithm. So what happens is you can take the same content and put it on all different platforms, but you got to change up some ways you put it on a platform. Why? Because the algorithm, the content you put on YouTube, if you don't switch it from Instagram, it ain't gonna flow with the algorithm. And if you put it on TikTok, it's gonna be out of focus. So you gotta switch the content up for every platform you put it on so it can fall in line with the algorithm. Let's bring it back to you. You trying to go from rich to middle class to poor to wealthy, whatever. You gotta switch the way you get it, because that you ain't gonna fit in that algorithm. So you trying to put a poor man in a rich man's algorithm, but he ain't changed none of his habits. He not gonna fit. So innately he gonna say, I don't belong here. I'm gonna go back where I fit in at. Damn. Okay, that's the kind of night we having. That's the kind of night we having.